chess friends, and welcome to Jozarov's chess channel, and welcome to my best chess games of all time series. So in this series we follow the best of the best chess games that have been ever played in chess history, and today I wanted to show you the so-called immortal game played by the legendary Akiba Rubinstein. The game was played in 1997 between Georg Rotlewi with the white pieces and Akiba Rubinstein with the black pieces, and Akiba Rubinstein was like Paul Murphy, sort of an uncrowned king. He was one of the best tacticians in chess history, but never had the opportunity to become maybe the world champion in chess, because when he was most active, when he played the best chess, then the World War I came, and he didn't have the opportunity to face Emanuel Lasker. After the World War I, he wasn't so strong in chess anymore, and that's why he was never becoming a world champion in chess. But still, he deserves all of respect. Many games are really the best of the best in this series played by Akiba Rubinstein, and he was really something else and a special person, I think, in chess history. So today, let's see the game. As said, in 1997, Akiba Rubinstein started chess to play relatively lately, but he got really addicted to chess. I think he gave up even school, college, everything just in order to play chess, and he became really one of the best players in history. So let's see the game. With white pieces we have Georg Rotlewi with the move d4. So d5, we have knight on f3, e6. So we have e3, sort of a column line, symmetrical variation, and now c5. We have the Tarrasch defense. The Tarrasch defense is a good opening, I think, for black, but I don't think I just don't believe in the so-called symmetrical variations when I play as black. When I play as white, I believe in symmetrical positions. But while playing as black, you always go into this equalish games, and you don't have so many possibilities to win the game. In the game, of course, c4, and you see how the symmetrical the pawn structure already became. But Akiba Rubinstein, one of the best theoreticians and also one of the best tacticians, will get out of this Tarrasch setup with a very aggressive game. So here knight on c6, we have knight on c3, and now knight on f6. The game is really symmetrical. Here we have d takes c5, now bishop takes on c5, and now a3. This was probably Georg Rotlewi's first inaccuracy. Maybe better line is just to even trade off these pawns in the center after c takes d5, e takes d5. Black is continuing the game with this long-term weakness, with this isolated pawn, still with the possibility to advance the pawn, but I think this would have been a better continuation. In the game was played a3 with the preparation to play the move b4, and here Akiba Rubinstein plays the accurate move. He plays a6 after b4. It's not a problem because you can hide the bishop with d6, and again maybe c takes d5 is the best way. If you try c5, this would have been a mistake because you have simply bishop on c7. Okay, white had his fun on the queen side, but now after bishop on e2, we can control the center here with these two pawns. These two centralized pawns are I think too much to handle here for white. Really, they're controlling four of these very important center squares. So we have this pawn majority in the center. So that's why I think this is a favorable middle game for black. So in the game, bishop on d3 was played instead of c5 or c takes d5. Here Akiba Rubinstein simply released the pressure now finally in the center. After bishop on c4, he was waiting this bishop on d3 idea just in order to get another tempo with d takes c4, and now after bishop takes on c4 we have b5. So you see again the position is really symmetric. We have bishop on d3 and here rook on d8, and you see how this tempo was very important, that Akiba Rubinstein waiting simply the bishop come to d3 and then to play d takes c4, not to take immediately, just waiting this bishop to come, and now we have gained the tempo. And when you do that against Akiba Rubinstein, basically it was really hard to defend. So after rook on d8, you see the queen is on the same file like the rook, so that's why Georg Rotlewi gets out, but loses again another tempo. So here bishop on b7, and now the fun starts. Now Akiba Rubinstein will simply attack. So here castling, knight on e5, also very important, liberating this diagonal for the bishop. And if knight takes on e5, then again we have a nice, very nice centralized bishop. So we were playing on sort of a positional pin. And we have also a very nice attack here against the bishop, because the queen is a little bit stuck to the defense of this bishop on d3. So here all of these pieces of blacks are in perfect shape, and here Georg Rotlewi tried f4. And okay, you get a tempo, but you have weakened the pawn structure in front of your king, and you see now how Akiba Rubinstein we use this moment. He played simple bishop on c7, another problem, with the possibility to place the bishop on b6. So then the bishop will be aiming here on this very important dark square diagonal e4. And as I said, here rook on c8 with preparation to play finally bishop on b6. But now the more important thing is that all of these pieces, these rooks, are now on the best files. The bishops are on the best diagonals, the knight is basically on the best square, the queen is centralized, so basically all of these pieces are perfect attacking formation. Now it's time to attack. So after e5, again, okay, white has his fun with a couple of tempos, but now of course bishop on b6, first to check, here king on h1, and now knight on g4. You see the queen is, as I said, stuck to the defense of this bishop on d3, but let's see the possible continuation here. If queen takes on g4, then of course we take. If you try something like rook from a to d1, it's not good, because you lose simply two minor pieces for the rook. With this active bishop pair, I think this would be a lost game here for white. If you try something like rook on c1 to defend the knight, then you get a rook on d2, you see, attacking the bishop, but also attacking here the pawn on g2. If you try something like knight on e4 to attack the knight, then simply taking the bishop. And here if you try knight on f6, it seems like an attacking move, but it's not a problem. We can play king on h8, and this line is very complicated, because if you try something like queen on h4 with an attack on h7, then you get of course first checkmated here on g2. So that's why you would be forced to play instead of queen on h4, you would be forced to play queen on h3. But again, we can play bishop on g2 after queen takes on g2, rook takes on g2. Then you see you have some troubles after rook on c8, but now bishop on d8. If you play rook on d1 in order to make something happen here on the d file, then rook on d1 is a very tricky move. Rook takes on d1, but now queen on b7, and then taking this rook on c1. So you see, very nice calculations here by Akiba Rubinstein already in the game. That's why after knight on g4, bishop on e4 was played, and now Akiba Rubinstein finds a very nice tactical shot. He plays first queen on h4 with immediate threat to checkmate, so that's why g3 is a forced move. But the problem is now that this queen is simply too overloaded. The queen is defending also this h2, but it's also defending here this bishop on e4, and with this g3 move you have opened now this very dangerous diagonal for the light square bishop. So that's why here Akiba Rubinstein finds really one of the best chess tactics in history. He played rook takes on c3, sacking the queen. So if you try something like bishop on b7 first, then rook takes on g3 leads into a very complicated line. Here if you try rook on c1, again rook on rook on h3, and there's no way that you could protect this. You simply lose some material. Here we can take the queen, and here after rook on d1, I think this is again a completely winning endgame here for black. So that's why g takes h4 was played, of course taking the queen, but now first rook on d2. So you see, we're deflecting the queen from the defense of the bishop. Here rook takes on d2 had to be played. If you try something like the queen takes on g4, then bishop on e4, again attacking, you have to bring the rook in between, but again it's a completely lost endgame here for white. So that's why here in this position queen takes on d2 was played, but now again bishop on e4. You see how these two bishops are cutting off here really this possible escape of the king. Here queen on g2, and you can pause the video and really try to find Now the best move, it's really again a tricky move, and it's the move rook on h3. Very nice. You cannot take the rook because of this bishop. All you can do is maybe something like bishop on d4, again bishop on d4, but there is this problem. In the next move you're going to get checkmated with rook takes on h2, and as said, in this position white resigned. Unbelievable attack with some queen sacrifices, decoy motifs, overloads, everything was happening in this very nice attacking game played by the legendary Akiba Rubinstein. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. I enjoyed this game a lot when I saw it for my first time. Meanwhile, you can watch my other best chess games of all time with some more Akiba games, Garry Kasparov games, Mikhail Tal games, and many more. And you can also watch my best chess games played by top engines like Lila C0, Alpha Zero, Stockfish, and also many more. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.